thoughts coming on, but thank you for reading that.
Yeah, thank you.
What is going on? Well, another glorious Monday. I was going to say morning, but it's definitely not that. I should be able to start regular morning sessions, if not Tuesday, Wednesday. So, got to remember when the sun's out, it's easier to work. Everything's not muddy. So, try to get out there and get it. Finally had, I don't know if y'all knew that, yeah, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it. A big storm came and it like knocked down our internet tower. That was like months ago. That tower literally finally got picked up. Well, half of it finally got picked up today. Man, that was like 4 months ago. That thing's just been sitting out there. Like you drive by the house and you just see this big old tower broken, like just hanging. I bet people were driving by like, golly, when are they going to get that thing out of there? What's up, man? What's going on, everybody? Why's everybody quiet? Yes. Oh, my bad. We got a Khorshid. What's up, Khorshid?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing amazing. What's up? You ever been here before?
No. But yesterday I was like on a live with Living Waters. Just for a little bit. It's just at a time like where I needed like, especially the verse that she gave of the focus your mind on things that are good. Sometimes I forget how important that is, literally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not easy at first, but
yeah,
that's where our mind is actually supposed to be. Like, no matter what the problem is, and when I say no matter what the problem is, you can't allow your flesh to do more than what it's supposed to be doing. You know, there's hard times, things hurt, but you're not supposed to linger there, and just it's not good. It's not good for your mind. It's not good for your, spiritual growth, because you're kind of stuck in the flesh. It's and then even when someone passes, people think, well, everybody handles it different, and someone passes and it's okay to just spaz out and just lose focus for 4 weeks. No, it's not, man. It's not. If that person that passed had any common sense, and I was to ask them before they pass, hey, what do you want this person right here to do when you pass? I've never met one. And I've asked people, hey, the day that you pass, what would you tell this person? Right? I've asked them right in front of them. And they go, I tell them that they need to just keep on moving. And, okay, so not fall apart like a $2 suitcase and cry for 4 weeks and not allow yourself to keep your peace. And I've never met one person that agree with that. Never. They go, no, I don't want them to do that. So if the person that's passed doesn't want you to do that, why would you choose to do that? Why wouldn't you do what they're asking you to do and start moving on with your life? Okay. There's nothing wrong with crying and mourning. The Bible tells us to mourn with those who are in mourning. There's nothing wrong to mourn. But if the person that you're saying you're crying over told you before they passed, hey, when that day comes, I want you to do A, B, C, and D. And A, B, C, and D is take you a day. Go ahead and eat the whole pint of ice cream if you have to. Go ahead. Take you the whole day. And just, matter of fact, don't even take a shower, they tell you. Fine, don't even take a shower today. Wow. No shower, pint of ice cream. Okay, but day 2, I need you to start writing a list on things that you need to be focused on that are important. Some of those things may be take care of kids, take care of husband, wife, don't forget to do the laundry, take a shower today. They may tell you take a day, but I ain't never met one to tell me or that other person, you know what, for 2 or 3 weeks, you just need to fall apart like a $2 suit. I ain't not one time. I ain't never one time had someone, and I'm talking to people that I know that eventually this person's going to pass. What would you tell this person right here? And I ain't never met, but yet that's what people want to do. And again, that's just unaliving in a family. There's all kinds of other issues, but nobody would agree that the answer is for you to just start giving into your flesh and start speaking to yourself like there's no hope. I've never, so
I find myself doing that lately, and I'm like compelled to turn back to what Christ wants of me, which is to think of these things like even every bad thing that happens may it be for a good purpose. Let me use anything bad to help me get back to where I need to be. Let me learn from that and keep track of my mind, not let myself to focus on the things that are bad, because it'll change your personality. And you're right, it does take time. So I'm fighting my flesh right now, I'm fighting.
Oh, I know.
I'm fighting I was the right same now way. To get back to a better place, closer to God.
Yeah. It's it's the reason why I speak about this so much is because I also was tempted to just allow the flesh to have its way and be sad. And, it was there. It was the same exact thing until I finally picked up the Bible, because I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was tired of it. I couldn't understand, why is it that the flesh gets to have its way? How come I feel like I don't have any control over this? You'll have people tell you, oh, well, you're a control freak, they'll say. Oh, you always want to be in control. You're a control freak. First of all, if I took everybody swimming, everybody that I've ever met in my life, even the goofballs on TikTok, I took everybody swimming and threw everybody in the middle of the ocean. And I go, all right, everybody right now, your head is above the water because you are in control of yourself swimming. Now, I want everybody to stop being in control. How many people are going to stop being in control in the middle of the water? Huh? How many you think? Khorshid, how do you say that name, man?
I don't think any of them would, unless they just don't know how to swim.
No, I'm saying everybody knows. Everybody knows how to swim. And I go, all right, everybody, the only reason why your head is above water is because you are taking control of the situation and you are upholding your head. I want everybody, okay, ready on 3. I want everybody to stop taking control. Ready, go. Who's going to actually stop and drown? Who's going to do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody. So be careful when people are telling you, oh, well, and I'm bringing this up. Oh, well, you just always want to be in control. People can use psychology to control you if you don't understand what it is they're doing. So when people say things like for instance, when I just said, I don't feel like I have control. If you're not careful, people that are trying to overanalyze what you're saying, they're like, oh, well, maybe you have a control problem. No, I'm not talking about having a control problem. I'm talking about I don't feel like I'm in control of my feelings. For example, we're going to use feelings. So if someone says, oh, well, I'm not in control of my feelings. Well, anyone that has common sense knows at some point you have to control your feelings at some point. But in the society that we live in today, there's more room to not be able to. More people will agree it's okay if you can't control them, because they're telling you, well, your feelings are coming from somewhere. They're coming from somewhere, so there have to be some truth to it. Yeah, there are rational feelings. They're rational, meaning that it's okay. For instance, family member passes and you mourn. That's okay. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with mourning? The Bible says to mourn with them who are mourning. So it's nothing wrong to cry because someone had passed. Nothing wrong with that. That's mourning. But we're talking about things that you should not allow your feelings to do, which is cause you to be in fear and then start worrying every day, like, oh, what's going to happen tomorrow? And what about next week? What's going to happen the week after that? Like, that's not okay to be that way. It's not. You know, this is how people drowned. This is how they drown. They drown because every time that one hand goes in front of the other to swim, they just start talking about how more tired they're getting. My feet are already getting tired. Oh my God, what if I cramp up? Oh my God, the waves are getting too big. Instead of staying calm and controlling the situation, you can control your feelings. Your feelings don't have to run your life. And when feelings run your life, and we start getting into catastrophic thinking, where 4 plus 4 is no longer 8, it's 8,000. Yeah. It's 8,000. 4 plus 4 is 8,000 and everything. You're just freaking out over every little thing. And that's what I'm going over is there was a time, where I was like, man, why do I feel like I'm just not in control? I don't understand it. And that's because I didn't fully understand that sometimes, even though you may be okay at it, but if you're not careful, sometimes an emotion or a thought can creep in there and you think it's just you maybe feeling sad, instead of you taking authority over that thought and say, hey, that's a lie. I don't have to live like that. Why am I allowing this feeling to make me live this way? And so once you, like a video game, level up, you go from level 5 to 10, level 10, you eat the mushroom, you become the big Mario, right? Once that happens, and then you can see feelings, you can like see them now instead of just feeling them and reacting to them. Now you can see them.
Yeah.
And once you can see them, you can control them. You can pick up on them. Like people who have anger issues.
That's me.
Well, okay. Well, my bad. Well, okay. Well, I'm still going to talk about it.
That's mostly why I'm kind of trying to get back is, I'm not saying that I'm not in control. I'm saying that I'm fighting right now. Like I'm trying to resist the things that are bad right now, until they flee from me. So I'm being mindful, and I'm asking like the Holy Spirit to guide me through every second right now, so that I can get back into a good place.
Yeah, how does the Spirit guide you? Like if you were to tell the Spirit, oh Spirit, guide me. Like does a flag show up and you just start following it? Like
that's just such a good question. You know what? I asked myself that this morning, and then I'm like, I know the answer to that. It's just like my personal conversation and feeling towards the God that I feel is with me all the time, right now, at every moment. Assisting me, helping me whenever.
Yeah, but how does the Spirit assist and help?
Well, I get back into the Word.
There you go.
And I remember what the Bible's teaching me, and things that I forgot.
That's it.
So
I'm
just coming back.
You're right. No, you have to it's simple, really. It may not be easy to do for some people, but it is a simple thing. You just have to get back in the Word. So now we have to take those thoughts captive, right? Like whatever negative thought that is not of God, and say, okay, now what can I use to combat these thoughts? What is it? So if it's feelings are getting the best of you, there's fear or worry or anger or strife you're being tempted to act out, then we go find scriptures where you see Jesus telling people to do something that they should be worrying about, but he tells them something completely opposite, like where he's about to become unalived. And he's basically telling them he's about to die. And he goes, oh, by the way, let your heart not be troubled. Yeah, I was like, let my heart not be, like, we've been walking with you for 3 years. Like, we know who you are. Like, we don't want you to, what are you talking about? Go be unalived. And he goes, yeah, but just let your heart not be troubled. Well, to the world today, that's irrational. That don't make any sense. It's okay to let your heart be troubled because, your friend's about to die. Jesus is your friend, and he's saying, let your heart not be troubled. So that's what I mean, that I've asked people, hey, let me ask you, if you were to pass right now, what would you tell this person they need to be doing immediately after you pass? Should they be worrying and crying over you every day? I've never met someone that said yes. Never. So where are we getting the idea that that's what we need to be doing? Again, this goes all the way back to why people think they need to beg God for forgiveness every second of the day, because they don't care what he says. They want to make their conscience clear. Well, your job is not to make your conscience clear. What makes your conscience clear is Christ. That's what makes your conscience clear, not you and your performance. So I remember a lady, a real good friend of mine, actually, her husband passed. Awesome dude, man. And, she comes up to me 3 months later and she was just crying. And my wife was there and she's like, I need to talk to you about something. I just want to know what you think. And I'm like, what's she crying about? Like, what happened? There ain't no way I'm thinking it's about, my buddy that passed. Like, it's been several months. I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, something new happened. And she literally says, I treated him bad. And I said, what do you mean? Well, she had a friend that used to see her and her husband interact. And her friend, instead of washing her feet, her friend became Satan and used these imperfection things that she's witnessed to accuse her sister and say, you treated your husband bad. That's Satan talking to her. That's Satan. That's the carnal mind. So I had to ask, though, because I know her. I said, just be honest. What did you do? Like, what did you do that was so bad? I'll let you know straight up. Now, if what you tell me is horrible, I'm going to say, okay, yeah, you treated him bad. But tell me what it is. And basically, it was normal stuff. Like, let's just say you have a husband or a wife that loves coffee and they still use dry creamer, okay, the dry stuff. Now, if you don't start stirring that, you can get a clump of that. And it ain't too pleasing when you get that clump in your mouth. It's actually kind of weird, right? But if you got a person that uses the dry stuff and they're always stirring their little coffee mug and you're always ting, 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 listen, that can become annoying after 5 years. Every morning, ting, 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 ting. So you could tell the person, hey, can you go get a plastic fork? Matter of fact, can you get a plastic cup and a plastic fork instead of metal and glass? The tinging is getting on my nerves. We're talking that kind of stuff that only you would know what this person does that can annoy people because you live with them. So the stuff that she's naming, it's nothing different than none of us have used against our significant other just to kind of give them a hard time. But her friend said, oh, you mistreated him. And again, I'm not going to go over what the things are, but I'm telling you, they're simple household things like the tinging of the coffee mug. Oh, he used to, but I thought it was so cute, and you just went over there and told him, can you stop the tinging? And she used that to put pressure on her friend, which is the one that lost the husband all the way. Anyway, she brings this up and she says, I treated him so bad. And this lady made her believe that those things, she treated him so bad. I said, hey, this is not good. This is not good what you're doing to yourself. You cannot just sit around and just start thinking of every little thing that you said that was harsh or mean, or you can't do that to yourself. You can't. It's not healthy. Hold on. But that's just another example of how people can come to you and get you to get into a stage that you would have never thought to get into, but they brought it to you, and you have to learn how to combat that. So I said, you should have told that lady that you're right. Those things were mean and they were harsh, but I've already made amends about those things already. that I've already made amends. Why are you bringing that back up? Sometimes you have to put the person on the spot that's acting like your accuser and ask them, why are you accusing me? What are you doing? The Bible says wash each other's feet. You don't know how to do that? You got to put people on the spot because people are so quick to talk about your sin. How come they're not so quick to talk about your righteousness? You ever recognize that? Has anybody ever noticed that? That there's people that were like, they'll come to you like right here, like in a live and say, hey, how do you say your name again? I'm going to call you Shid. Shud. Hold on. Khorshid. How you say that?
Khorshid.
Khorshid. You need to put 2 E's in there. Khorshid.
I know. This is the way it was spelled, but it doesn't, I don't know why it's spelled like this because it's
probably spelled. It's probably spelled right. We're just dumb Americans, so we need 2 E's there. Like tree.
Actually, it's not spelled right. If it was spelled right with the way that it sounds, it would be EED. But it's just it's just the way. Just like in Iran, is IRAN. It's not Iran though. It's Iran.
Yeah, it's Iran.
But it's spelled Iran.
But it's spelled Iran because we're dumb Americans. Iran. JY, oh my God, where you been, bro? I thought you were unalive. I already made a prayer for you. I didn't know where you were.
I just was asking Nina, where these scale been at? Honestly, I missed y'all. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say this real quick, just for the people in the back and all my shadow watchers. Nobody is talking about nothing on this app, so I missed you a lot. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it right now because every app is the exact same thing, but at least you talk about something different. So let me go ahead and give you your props, D-Scale. Go ahead, because I had a headache, okay?
Yeah. No, I don't talk about something prophet. I just talk about life the way Jesus did. You see? Talk about life the way Jesus did.
Y'all. I'm tired of listening to everything. I've been logging off. I'm tired of the same old conversation. Ain't nobody grew. It's no growing. I just was like, where is y'all called Nina? What's going on? Where's the scale at?
It's Groundhog Day every day.
But D-Scale's been going live every day. The only day we didn't go live was Friday. It's the only day. It's the only day. And I was coming on.
I've been missing it for sure.
Yeah, well, that's okay. That's all right. You ain't got to come every day. You come every day, you're gonna start giving me a hard time from hearing my tingling of stirring my coffee. You hear me? You're just gonna get tired of it. It's like, oh, I need a break.
No.
Try too much.
No, I'm on here every day. So you know what? I'm gonna tell you, brother. When you going through everybody else, when scrolling, you just because where's people at who grow? I need somebody who ain't talking about the same thing 2 years. So. You one of them, so you stay on there. I've been missing y'all.
Yeah, well, it's something I've been telling people about for 5 years on here. There's people who've been talking about the same thing for 5 years. So the only thing that they got a little bit better at, and when I say a little bit, 5 years, they got 1% better on how to prove their point on Trinity and oneness. Or once saved, always saved. Water baptism. All you learn is how to be better at that argument 1%. Nobody's edified. Everybody's mad. Everybody hate each other. 10 divorces, 10 marriages, 10 divorces, 10 what I'm saying is life is going on and you just out here doing the same old junk, not making a disciple. Saying, I'm doing God's word. You're not making a disciple, for God's sakes. Go and make disciples. Now they're like, you know what? Because he said that, I'm not making disciples. I'm going to stay doing it hard-headed. Hard-headed, these people, bro. Hard-headed. Love them to death. I've got nothing against anybody personal. I promise you, bring any of them in front of me, I will embarrass them with the life that I had before I started reading the Bible. Nobody can touch me on the things that I did before I was born again. Not going to happen. You can ask any one of my family. It'd take 10 of y'all in here. And I'd be like, all right. All y'all together, y'all got me beat. But until you get sick and tired of just being sick and tired. So I tell people all the time, look, if the way you're doing it works for you, fine, go right on ahead. But I promise you there's a better way. If you're saying, oh, no, the way I'm doing it, it's the best way, go right ahead. I've met them all. I've met all the ways. And there's still a better way. There is a better way to be a good steward for Jesus. There is a better way, and it's making disciples. It's not arguing. It's not come watch me debate. That's not the better way. Listen, it's a start. Let's say you never even used to talk about God. Well, Lord have mercy. If you're at least arguing about him on his side anyway, hey, that's better than nothing. I tell people that all the time. But there is a better way, and your job is to figure out what the better way is. Okay? And I'm talking about making disciples, not better way how to argue against what that person's saying. That's not the better way. That's trying to win an argument. He did not say go and make arguers. No, he said go and make disciples. And you make disciples by washing people's feet, showing them the love of Christ. The conversation that is coming out of your mouth needs to be 90% Jesus, 10% all those other miscellaneous, not the other way around. You don't argue, debate, prophecy, book of Revelation, Daniel, Ezekiel, 90%, and then 10% of your conversations about Jesus. Man, no. That's not, those books are not there to keep you away from Jesus. They're all pointing to him. They're not all pointing to Donald Trump. They're not all pointing to the Antichrist. All the Bible's not pointing to the Antichrist. It's pointing to Jesus. But for some reason, these people talk more about Donald Trump and the Antichrist more than Jesus. There's something's wrong there with your way of thinking, But I'll tell you, if you put Donald Trump's face on a T-shirt, somebody will buy that T-shirt. So it's not a coincidence that they take the most quote unquote popular story in the Bible for the flesh, which is the Antichrist. Everybody in the flesh, that's all they want to talk about. Antichrist. 10 years go by. They're still talking about the Antichrist. Oh, you know what? Hey, guys, listen, 5 years ago, I was wrong. It was not Barack Obama. Now it's Donald Trump. Every time we get a president, that's the Antichrist. Oh, God told me I was sleeping and I woke up with a loud, thunderous voice that said Donald Trump is the Antichrist. Yeah, well, that's what the guy said about freaking Barack Obama. That's what the guy said about some of the other presidents listen, these are just presidents of the United States. There's other quote unquote presidents where they're not from the United States and people said, oh, well, that's the Antichrist. It's always someone popular, always the most popular person. That's the Antichrist every time. And I'm telling you, the first year of Donald Trump's election, it's coming to an end. We're pretty soon. He's only got 3 years left. You better start praying, whoever you are, these Antichrist worshipers, because that's all they talk about. You better start praying to God that he starts making Donald Trump grow horns, because right now you ain't looking too good. You better get on your knees. Probably don't know what prayer is. You better get on your knees and do your cliche way of praying and say, oh, Lord. Oh, like Samuel, when he told the prophet, Saul, he told Samuel, he said, oh, but bring me back to the people. He's like, bro, did you not hear what I said? The kingdom of God has been stripped from you. Yeah, I heard you. But the people, though, bring me back to the people. That's these people, bro. That's these people, bro. Antichrist is all about feeding the belly of the people. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, that's a lie. This is a biblical truth. Yes, the Antichrist thing is a biblical truth. But you just can't go around saying, okay, let me see, 5. Okay, well, he done about 20, 30 things. Yeah, this is him. I found him right here. I'm telling you, you're going to be preaching this for 50 years. These people are going to be preaching this to the day that they become unalive and be wrong 10 times. And everybody's still listening to them. All right, guys, I figured out what I missed. What was it? My bad. I don't know, whatever it is. My bad. He's going to be more like this. I forgot this person's not. Okay, so this one thing right here, I missed it. But this next guy, I found him. Everybody follow me. I found to say, bro, you keep finding the guy, but it's never the guy. But yet you keep finding the guy. Oh, Lord. Same as the books, was it somebody correct me, 1977 or 1988. It was like 88 ways why Why Jesus is coming in 1988, or 77 there's a few books like that. They're like 88 reasons why he's coming. And everybody bought the book. I was like, wow, boy, when 1889 came, did he give y'all money back? When 1989 came out, right? When the big ball was dropped in New York, he give y'all the money back? Oh, man. Boy, I tell you, it's craziness. It's a belief that the Antichrist is a belief. It's a belief that the Antichrist is a belief. It could be. It could be. I wouldn't put it past people. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Yeah, definitely don't. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Yeah.
There's gonna be a third temple and a physical red heifer. It's coming.
Yeah. Well,
right now.
first of all, there is going to be a red heifer. There is going to be a temple made. But what's funny is how they're calling it a third temple based on the Bible. So if I go build a temple outside of my house, is that the third temple? Somebody help me out. If I go build a temple right in front of on my property, is that the third temple? Huh?
No.
Why not? It's a temple. And it's after the second one. Why not?
I would say God is not inside of that temple.
Okay, but that's the point that I'm saying. That's the point I'm making.
Like the body of Christ, yeah.
But I'm saying, but everybody's looking at Israel, the country, and they're about to build a temple, and that's the third temple. That's the third temple? Why is everybody believing that's the third temple? It's crazy. Oh, it's crazy. Why? You know why? Well, because it's in Israel. Oh, man. Lord have mercy.
So we are the temple. All
right.
The body of Christ.
All right. So how many temples were in the Bible?
And then the second temple that was destroyed by the Romans.
Yes.
Okay, so what happened to Solomon's temple?
Act broken down and everything was stolen.
All right, and who rebuilt it?
That's hard for me to cheer. No.
Don't guess. You either got to tell the truth or don't guess. Don't guess. Don't do that. Somebody find it.
Didn't Nehemiah go rebuild the temple, or was that just the wall?
I don't know. Is that what it says? I need
Zerubbabel.
Well, I know Nehemiah asked to go rebuild, but I'm thinking it was just the wall, though.
Yeah,
Zerubbabel and Cyrus.
What about Cyrus?
Cyrus the Great. It was
Cyrus the Great.
Okay, where'd y'all get that information at?
I got it from my history because I'm Iranian, but it's also in the Bible.
Yeah, where? Where in the Bible does it say that the second temple was made?
I don't know. I don't know where in the Bible, but if somebody else knows.
It is in the book of Ezra.
Yeah, but where?
And it was in Jerusalem.
No, where in the Bible?
Chapter 3, verse 6.
She's like, Israel, duh. What am I doing here in this live?
Christian, are you chapter 3, verse 6? Or are you in chapter 4, verse 1? And can y'all hear me? I got bars. I've been having bars.
Yeah, who you talking to?
Yeah.
I think Christian said it was in Ezra.
Oh.
I do. Christian, he was saying that the other temple they built was in Ezra. I'm in Ezra right now, and it do say in 4 verse 1. Now, when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of heard that the children of captivity built the temple unto the Lord God of Israel. But I was trying to see where did it begin at. Oh, in Ezra 3:10, it says, "And when the builders laid the foundation of the temple of the Lord, they set the priests in their apparel with trumpets, and the Levites, the son of Asaph, with cymbals, with cymbals to praise the Lord after the ordinance of David, king of Israel." That's Ezra 3:10.
Yeah. Yeah, because remember, what'd you say, Ezra? What?
3:10 was the most recent one I just read.
Yeah. Hey, read it again, please.
It says, "And when the builders laid the foundation of the temple of the Lord, they set the priests in their apparel with trumpets, and the Levites, the sons of Asaph, with cymbals to praise the Lord after the ordinance of David, king of Israel."
All right. So who built the second temple?
It was
The children of Israel.
Yeah, no, it's a name, starts with a Z. Yeah. Zerubbabel. Okay. And then after that, look, misunderstood, got it right there. Look, you got, she said, the tabernacle, Solomon's temple, Zerubbabel, and then you had Herod. Remember, King Herod refurbished the temple. Right? So this is why you have people say, oh, the third temple was already made. It was made by Herod. And you have these ridiculous arguments between people. But we do know that you had King Solomon's temple. And then after that, you had Zerubbabel's temple. And then people bring up people bring up King Herod when he like refurbished or whatever you call it. Or he renovated it or whatever word you want to use. But Jesus talks about building a temple without hands. Y'all remember that? Right. And so King Solomon building the first temple, it was a physical thing. It's physical. Right. But the temple that is to last forever, that temple is us. Paul says, know ye not that ye are the temple. Okay. And I'm going to throw that hint out there, and then you can go argue with all the fools if you want to. But the third temple is the temple that Jesus built. Okay. So when people say, no, there's going to be a second one, a third physical one, and they're going to burn it. Listen, I don't understand. This is so weird to me. I don't care if Israel, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, I don't care if all of them built a temple days apart from each other. That's not the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. It's crazy. It's crazy what these people are doing, all these temples. Where is God stamping his name that this is a temple? Was it not wisdom that built the temple that Solomon built? Didn't he have wisdom? Wasn't that the wisdom of God? Yeah. So because wisdom that Solomon prayed for, because wisdom built that temple, that means that physical temple was built by God. So just because you get a bunch of freaking hooligans that are dressed half naked building a temple doesn't mean it's God building the temple. And you call it the third temple? What the heck, bro? Eating too many jujubes, man. Got a sugar high, sugar rush.
I wasn't off. Great. Love it.
Right? So when people tell you, no, there's still gonna be a physical, but these people making a lot of money preaching this physical stuff, writing books, and there's even people on TikTok that preach the same thing, that there's going to be this physical thing and it's all physical. Listen, it's not God's temple, bro. I don't care what you call it. You can call it Blockbuster for all you want. That's what you can call it, a Walmart. If I go build a Walmart on my property and I start putting Walmart product in there, eventually Walmart itself is going to come and be like, hey, who gave you authority to call that Walmart? You understand what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
Completely.
But what I'm saying is these nimrods are so far off fetch, they think just because people call it a temple, it's the temple. Because they call it they said they're building a temple. Oh my God. All right, well, I'm gonna build a Walmart in the back of my property, and you know what? It's a Walmart because it has a Walmart sign on it. I mean, it's dumb. It's so dumb what these people are doing.
Because Christ is the red heifer, right?
Yes, Christ is the red heifer, and that's not easy to see. It's not. And you got these people that don't understand Ruddy Eyes. If you haven't seen the short series Ruddy Eyes, there's 3 parts to it. It's on YouTube at Descaled Live on YouTube. You can go look up the short series Ruddy Eyes, so you can see that the color red in the Bible represents Jesus. That's what it represents. All right. So you have the red clay that Adam was made from. That's what Adam means, man. Red clay. It literally means ruddy. Okay. Because that's the color. If you want to, as far as the Bible is concerned, that's the color that man are made from. They're made from ruddiness, right? Which is the image and likeness of God. So the red heifer, the sacrifice that pleases God, there's only one. There's only one of those because it's talking about wisdom. That's why it's a heifer. It's not a bull. It's feminine. Red heifer. And there's only one wisdom that can be sacrificed, and that's the wisdom of God. And that's why he said that he was going to offer his own soul for us. Okay? It was his wisdom. It was man's wisdom that hated God's wisdom and put him on the cross. Even though he gave himself to do that, they still had to do it. And they chose to do it, just like he knew they were going to. And, I could talk about the temples all day, but I've learned that for some reason, people get caught up in these temples and they don't understand enough of the Bible. It's all physical. Everything is physical to them. And they'll say things like, oh, yeah, it's spiritual, but it's physical too. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right. So which one should you be focused on? Well, you got to be focused on both. No, you're still missing it. You're not. We're not going to be focused on, you don't need to be focused on both. You just focus on Christ, not both. The discussion, they can't get away from the discussion. They have to discuss this all the time, over and over. Every time God comes up, it's always Antichrist. They cannot stop it. They can't help it. And when you kind of trained yourself that that's all you talk about, then you're no different than the rest of these goofballs that wrote books about 88 reasons that Jesus is coming back in 1988. People bought all this stuff. It's because it was never about you physically understanding everything that way. It was never about that. And there are people that still fall into that trap today. And he said, go make disciples. But instead of you making disciples, I'm going to make sure everybody knows who the Antichrist is. And you're wrong about who the what a waste of life. What a waste of time to be wrong about who you're saying the Antichrist is. But you tell people, oh, well, and it's crazy. Like what y'all see, what we do on Descaled, how we say nothing is a coincidence. Everything I'm talking about, though, is inside the Bible. These people take the Bible, find men who are alive today and go, look, it's not a coincidence. That's not how you do that. You don't take the things of this world and add it to the Bible. No, the things that are not coincidences stay in the Bible. Those things in there. You don't take this world and go find Donald Trump and then go in there and be like, all right, he's the Antichrist. Watch, I'm going to show you. No, bro. No, that's witchcraft is what you're doing. You're teaching people witchcraft. God doesn't need anything in this world to prove what's already taken place in the Bible. Okay? Now, if you're talking about prophecy, that's fine. I get it. But when you just go find a man and it's crazy. Anytime you see someone come against someone real strong, it's like after something happens, right? Like when you ask somebody, hey, when did you start saying Donald Trump was the Antichrist? Was it after he made president? Yeah. Wow, what a prophecy. What a strong prophecy creator you are. So once someone becomes president, that's who you're after. Oh, that's the Antichrist. He made it. How come you didn't know he was the Antichrist 20 years ago? How come you didn't preach? There's a man named Donald Trump. Or you don't have to say Donald Trump, but there's a man named Trump. No, screw that. I'm gonna put it on you. Donald Trump. There's a man named Donald Trump. He's gonna live in New York, and God's very detailed a lot of the times. A lot of the time. But we're gonna wait till someone becomes popular. He's popular. And then this guy becomes president, and you're like, oh man, what a money making scheme right here. Donald Trump's he's the president of the United States. Therefore, he's the Antichrist, and I'm gonna prove it. Where were you 20 years ago? When let me ask, did anybody hear that Barack Obama was the Antichrist? I heard it. I remember. They're like, oh, his name. Oh yeah. But his name is. Jesus said, I saw Satan fall from lightning from the sky, and it's like Barack Obama means lightning from the sky, bro. Now it's Donald Trump, the little horn. Donald Trump. Look, they gave him a crown. Israel gave him a crown. Oh, my God. Oh, man, bro. Oh, dude. All day. You do this all day. It's crazy. And people fall for it. They're like, but it sounds. It's not all in the Bible like that. They're taking things of this world, mixing it with the Bible. And that's not how you do that, the way they're doing it. But it can sound appealing, right? Because when you see me go through the Bible and I'm like, hey, look what happened here in this book and look what happened here. Am I matching things that's happening in this world with the stories, or am I using the story against itself to show? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're using the stories.
You're using the stories that's within the stories that's in the Bible. We're not leaping out of the Bible and finding some man out here called Barack Obama and say, oh, lightning from the sky. Barack Obama means lightning from the sky. Therefore, Barack Obama is the Antichrist. Get the heck out of here, that junk. I don't even like Barack Hussein Obama, and I knew he wasn't the Antichrist. Come on, man. You're just calling people Antichrist because everybody's going to jump on it. Let's see.
What is up?
What's going on, buddy?
How's it going?
It's going amazing. How's it going with you?
Also amazing. I just got done with the...
Well, that's...
Going well.
Oh, excuse
So
me.
do you got a topic, or do you want me to bring something to that's been on my mind for the last couple of weeks?
No, you can bring some. Khorshid brought up the topic that kind of leads to harnessing your emotions. That's where she's at right now. Like something either had taken place or, regardless of whatever the situation is, but she's trying to focus on how we are to count it all joy when the circumstance around you is telling you not to count it all joy. So, Khorshid, we'll be hopping back and forth with that, but in the process, other people will have little things like, like the Donald Trump is the Antichrist rent. Those things will come and go, and then we'll go back to that. What you got, Jay? What's up?
All right, here we go.
Oh, shoot. Hold
Daniel,
on.
chapter.
Oh, shoot.
All right, so I'm
Image.
just 2 verses, and then I'm gonna ask you a question. Chapter.
Oh, my God. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
She's got a
You
buffer
cutting
on
out.
her tail. She's got a buffer.
Get kicked. I mean, running off my little Polo Metro PCS. If I get bars, just let me know.
Yeah, let me tell you. You
Daniel
got
chapter 7, I'm gonna read
listen.
13.
Hey, listen, bro. I would love to say you got all them bars like Eminem, but you ain't got no bar. You got bars like me when I rap right now. You hear me? That's kind of bars you got. None. 0. You coming in broken. Hey, you coming in broken and distorted. Start all over.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 13 through 16. Can somebody just read it? Because if I start reading, I might go out. But I could ask a question when they're done.
You said Daniel 7, 13 through 16. Is that what she said?
Yes.
Somebody? Yes.
Can someone repeat it? Because I heard Daniel 17.
And 13 to 16.
Somebody gonna read it or what?
Get it?
I can start reading. Oh, you got it? Okay. I was going to say I could read, but if I cut out.
Go ahead, read.
Go ahead, Sister J, if you can get it.
All right. So let's say, I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds and came to the Ancient of Days. And they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom that all people, nations, and tongues shall serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by and asked him the truth of this. So he told me, and he made me know the interpretation of things. But the question I wanted to ask you, Trop, is this safe for me to say? Because I've been saying this, I've been seeing this. I got this on my own now. Is it safe for me to say that the same thing that happened to the Son of Man when he came to the Ancients of Days is the same thing that happened to us when we are born again of the Spirit?
Okay, when you say the same thing, what thing are you talking about?
What happened to
Exactly,
him?
it would be.
What, Jay?
It would be.
Jay, what you
I'm
just
finna
read.
tell her what happened to him.
No,
I'm
right.
finna say it.
And what you read, okay.
I would say, and there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom that all people, nations, and tongues should serve him. And his dominion is an everlasting dominion, which should not pass away, and his kingdom that which should not be destroyed. That right there.
But Daniel, what happened to Daniel when he saw that? You read it. What was Daniel's
I know
reaction?
what happened to Daniel, but that's
But
not
it's
what I'm trying to.
important to understand Daniel's reaction and why did Daniel react that way? There was something that was going on. Daniel's explaining to you.
Jesse, why do you only come up when we talk about Ezekiel, Daniel, and Book of Revelation?
No, because it's the death, burial, and resurrection is what Daniel saw.
Jess, you're not answering my question. Jesse, you're not answering my question. Why do you only come up when these 3 books are discussed?
Well, that it just happens to be that I'm off today, and
listen, Jess, come on.
I'm serious. I wouldn't lie to you,
bro.
That's not my fault. I'm off today.
I'm gonna call your boss right now. I'm calling your boss right now.
I'll give you the number 561-967-1200.
You're so dumb. 551-170-4433.
No, because I think it's important people realize Daniel's giving you the details of the death, burial, resurrection of Jesus Christ. Everybody thinks it's something else. It's like what Trot is trying to tell us.
Daniel's prophesying the death, burial, and resurrection, and then what happened after the death, burial, resurrection, which he's given the kingdoms because
All right.
he took it
All
back.
right. So, all right. All
Well,
right.
I
So,
understand about the Jesus part.
all right. So Jay White had a question. What's your question about this, Jay?
What just happened to the Son of Man in these scriptures? Is that the same thing that happens to us when we come to the Ancient of Days?
No, I hear the way you're wording it. I'm asking you, what do you mean the same thing? What do you mean by that? What same thing are you referring to?
We are given dominion, glory, and we are the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what happened to him when he came to the Ancient of Days. So once we come to the Ancient of Days, this is what the Ancient of Days gives us as well.
But what do you have to
right.
do before you get that, though, Jay? Doesn't something have to happen first before we get to that point? You're skipping the whole important the part about what happens to the flesh. Don't we have to die first? Believe? Or we just get that, or we just get the dominion and the glory without
Jesse,
having
I'm trying to find out if Jay comes up here with a question, why are you questioning her what she's questioning?
And I'm trying to just see if she knows.
It's like, hey Jay, I know you got a question, but I got questions about your questions.
Well. Listen, you taught me well. I'll be silent.
Yeah, silence is the best treatment. All right, Jay. So okay, so yeah, no minutos, no monitas, no monitas right now. All right, Jay. So let me make sure I understand what you are saying. All right. So what are the things that you're referring to? Okay.
So we come to the Ancient of Days. That's how he draws us. We come to days. And when we come to him, he is giving us power, his glory, his dominion. Right? When we are born again. We are now of that seed. We are as he is.
Okay.
Right. So when I was speaking of this, it seems like people is only saying this is only for Christ, but I am saying I see this happening to us when we come to Christ. This exact same. All
right. So okay. So when you say so the things that you're talking about is where it says dominion, glory, and kingdom. That's the things.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, and that's all you're asking.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So the Bible says we are co-heirs with Christ, right? Right? Co-heirs. All right. So we have inherited what he has inherited. That's the most simplest way I can answer it.
And I understand it, brother. I don't have no more questions. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and remember, 1 John 4:17. I don't know why there's such an elementary thing about Daniel here. People get stuck on this so easy, but the Bible makes it very clear that we are co-heirs with Christ. Co-heirs. So whatever he inherited, we inherited through him. Listen, you cannot inherit something that Jesus inherited because of your flesh, right? We were talking last week how the slithering snakes come in and confuse Jennifer, seems like on a weekly basis, about what part of us needs to be good, what part of us needs to be. Listen, if we are co-heirs with Christ, how did you inherit that? Did it have anything to do with your flesh? Or did it have everything to do with what Jesus did?
Do what Jesus did.
Right.
Always.
So if it had everything to do with him, then that's how we inherited it. Because we're co-heirs with him. We're not co-heirs, separated from him. The word co, right? So we're co-heirs. meaning we receive the inheritance that he inherited through what he did, not through what you did or what someone is telling you you need to do. We are co-heirs through him. So after he received his inheritance, he gave it to us as a gift, period. So when 1 John 4:17 says, as he is, talking about Jesus, as he is, so are we in this world. We are as he is. Does he have dominion? We have dominion. Does he have glory? We have glory. Does he have the kingdom? So do we. As he is, so are we in this world. Talking about right now. It does not say, as he is, we will too one day be when we get to heaven. That's not what it says. It says, as he is, so are we. And it talks about this world. So are we in this world. In this fallen world, we have dominion, glory, and kingdom. And when someone comes up to you and says something dumb, like, we don't have dominion over the animals. And you're like, oh, God, why not? Oh, yeah? I'll tell you what. Go to the jungle at night and go. I want you to go find all the animals and just keep petting them. Just keep walking around and petting them. You're going to be eaten up by dawn. You don't have dominion. Anybody know how to, I hate to say the word, but anybody know how to refute that?
It says in the Bible that we were given dominion.
Right, but this person is saying, no, you don't. Go to the jungle and live there for 2 days. But you can't hide. You got to go pet all the animals, and let's see if you get eaten up or not. So
Doesn't mean you don't have dominion. It just means that they're going to come after you because that's what they do.
Yeah, I know, but again, that's what this person is.
Care for them.
But that's what this person is saying. The person is saying if you had dominion, they wouldn't be able to do that to you. That's what they're saying. So how do you refute that?
Your understanding of dominion. What is dominion?
Incorrect.
You'd have to start there.
Their understanding is incorrect, right?
Yeah.
So the Bible says that Adam was given dominion over the fish in the sea, right? The beasts of the field, the fish in the sea, the fowl of the air. He was given dominion over all animals. That's what it says, right?
Yeah, dominion means that you're above them. You're not below in nature sense. Animals are not above us. In other words, I'm not going to go hug a tree or hug an animal or not unalive an animal to eat a piece of meat because it's an animal. No, it's just that it's I hate to use that word. It's beneath us in that aspect. It's it's like God, Jesus, the man, the woman, children, and then animals, and and creation.
Yeah. But one thing you have to throw in there, and this is where people in the high 90s, probably 95% of people would not think to say this, but you have to throw in there that the Bible shows in many instances that beasts of the field, fowls of the air, and fish in the sea are also people. Right? So it's non-believers. We have dominion over non-believers.
Oh.
Okay. So, somebody, where in the Bible does it show that the fowl of the air, beast of the field, or the fish of the sea is referring to people? Where? It's important.
Wasn't it in Genesis?
You got to bring the verse. You got to bring the verse.
Let me find it.
Doesn't Paul also talk about that?
I don't know. Bring up the verse.
Let me.
I was going to go to David and Goliath. To be honest with y'all.
Well, it don't matter where you go. Bring up something. If not, I'm just gonna have to give the answer. This is what Jess, you know, Big Op, right? He came up here last week, I think Wednesday or something. And Big Op, if you're shadow watching, bro, click the screen and come in here real quick. This dude, he used a phrase, because I'm talking about what he said the other day, but he used a phrase. He said, man, I'm just waiting for
I
Trot
got
to.
it.
Okay, hold on,
Genesis.
Kashid. Hold on,
Sorry.
Kashid. Just you're fine. Just proofread it real quick. Proofread it to yourself.
Okay.
But he said, man, I can't wait for Trot to crash out. And I was like, crash out?
It's not going to
I said,
happen.
well, first of all, I don't even know what that means. I go, what does that mean? And he danced or listen, he changed his story like 4 times. He's like, well, it just means like, like telling us, about yourself and I just, it's just, I said, Big Op, what does crash out? What the heck are you talking about? He goes, oh, well, it's like,
give us all the answers.
Hold on. This is what he said, though. He said, well, I mean, like, man, it's like, man, like, bro, like, all right, I'm just going to say it, man. I'm just going to say it. Oh, man, you got these people just chasing around verses. And I'm like, what? Chasing around verses? Yeah, bro, it's called learning. What the heck you talking about? You never been to school or what? So, but I went and looked up the phrase crash out because I don't know what the heck. I never even heard this term, crash out. And you know what showed up, what that means, crash out?
Losing your emotions.
Yes, bro. It literally means like flipping your lid, like just going all out, losing it.
Yeah. So
I'm like, you can't wait for me to crash out? What the heck? Big Op, I know you listening, bro. Stop tripping. Click on the screen. About 500 of y'all over there on the other side. Come to this side, bro. Come to this side. I can't wait for Trot to crash out. Bro, what?
Teacher doesn't give you the answers. They make you go hunt for it. And even the scriptures tell us that. That was the first verse, 25:9 of Proverbs? You taught us. So, hey,
Hey, look what Misunderstood put. Hold on. Man, where'd it go? Yes, to see you crash out would probably be epic. Oh, man. Crazy. Big Op playing the op. Oh, man. I can't wait to see. But I think I'm calling him out. Y'all tell Big Op he's lying, bro. That he said crash out. And it means to flip out and like go crazy. And he tells me, well, I mean, you got all these people, chasing scriptures. Why don't you just tell us what it means? And I'm like, bro, that's not what crash out means. I looked it up. Now, I didn't know what it meant when he said it. But later on, I was like, crash out. What did I say? What?
Using it. He's probably using it with a double, like.
No. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it only has one meaning. But that's the number one meaning that popped up, that's the number one. So I just thought it was weird. I was like, what does crash out mean? And the first thing it said was somebody flipping out, losing their mind. I'm like, oh, he wants to see me lose my mind? Like, man, thank you, buddy.
Oh, my God, that would be epic, number one, because you don't get mad at all. And for all of us to see you in your belly and going off on somebody, first of all, you would go off very intelligent, number one. You would tell them XYZ, and all with knowledge, all with, as they say, receipts. Receipts means Bible verse, chapter. You have it already. And then for you, it will be your version of crashing out. Oh. Prove your point. And did Bible verse, and then you will always counter with something. Always. So that would be an epic crash out. That's why I'm laughing in the comment. And Alpha's he's being funny when he's saying that to you because he knows, you know how to harness your emotions. Like Jess said, you taught us that in the beginning. And so we've never seen you truly crash out. We've seen you become irritated with people, because they're asking dumb questions. I'm sorry. I know there's no dumb question, but some of them are dumb. And, but yes,
That's all. I had to come up here and
That's
just chime in on
that's
that.
what he
'Cause
said. He was like, I
Okay.
would listen. I was just about to come up. Like I was just about to come up, and all I hear is, I don't know, man. You know how big op is. He's like, I don't know, man. Man, I'm just waiting for Trot to crash out.
Not
I
gonna
was like,
happen.
crash out.
It's not, because that was the first thing. I mean, obviously, the Lord taught you that in your life, and you learned your lesson, and you realized the value and the importance on teaching us that, because we're being discipled. So if you were to crash out, then it would just it just defeats the purpose. It's not what the Lord is teaching us. So now you're
Yeah,
not going to crash out.
I
You're not
think
going to go.
if I ever got to a point where I felt like I had to crash out, like I think it would stop as soon as it started. Honestly, I think, you know what I mean? I think I'd be like, well, I don't know, just like kind of getting into the crash out part, and within seconds I'd be like, oh, you know what? Bye. I'd either leave or tell the
Yeah, it's not
person
going
to
to happen.
leave. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's not edifying. It's not fruitful. I'm not still trying to learn myself. You know what I mean? There's people that I see them crash out. I'm gonna start using that phrase now. I'm gonna send Big Op a message. What's up, Mr. Crash Out?
And not only that, but I think I can speak for myself, and I'm sure that I'm going to speak for a lot of people that have been with you from the beginning. I have learned to harness my emotions. I know a lot of us have. I mean, I used to be on TikTok day and night debating everybody. I don't do it anymore because I know it's
No.
not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'll have conversations every now and then and stuff like that, but it's not going to happen. It's just, I'm done crashing out, bro. I'm done.
I'm done crashing out. Alex said, I can see Trot crashing out to his dog rather. Oh, I have crashed out on my dog a few times, bro. Especially when he chewed up some very expensive optics. I'll just say that. Very expensive optics, bro. He chewed them up, ruined them. Oh, bro. Like, I just seen him like become like a vapor in the wind. Like,
Isn't that a song?
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
A Vapor in the Wind, yeah. It's a love song
Yeah.
from back in the day.
Probably. Actually, I got that phrase "vapor in the wind." I got that phrase for when in the Hebrew where Lot's wife turned into a pillar of salt. Like when you go study that in Hebrew, she became a vapor.
Yeah.
Vapor in the wind. But I just saw him like disintegrate. Like I was so about to I wanted to get a bat and like just treat him like a baseball, but I didn't want to hurt him. So, but I could not. I mean, this stuff's very expensive, and the way he got a hold of it, like when I tell this story, people are like, "Well, what'd you do? Just leave it on the ground, bro?" This dude's like almost 6 foot tall when he stands up. He's a big dude. So for him to get up there, he went out of his way to pull this thing down. And I don't know. I smelled it. I don't know what was drawing him to. It's a freaking bag. I've never had food in it. I don't know what led him to want to play with it. I really don't. But he pulled out. Now, there were 2 things in this bag. Thank God he only got one of them out. But either way, he still got the most expensive thing out of there, and he just ripped it up. And I'm like, bro, this dog has cost me more money. I'm not even kidding.
Well, he's a dog.
He's a dog. But again, I think that's what makes it easy for me not to crash out. Yeah. All right, let's see. Let me celebrate, sir. Somebody else had something or what? Mick, what's up, man? Oh, Mick had a good one earlier. He said, Mick, are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, he probably can't hear right now. But Mick had a good one earlier. It was, I think it was Hebrews 10, where it's talking about let me go to it real quick. Man, what the heck? I think it's 28. Yeah, so he brought up, because Mick asks, every now and again, he'll ask a question. And I think he found the answer, but there was something I wanted to go over. 26. Yeah, 28 is really what helps the answer, but 26. So Hebrews 10:26. It says, "For if we sin willfully after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sin, but a certain fearful looking for of judgment, and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversaries." But the answer is in 28, okay? It says, "He that despised Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses." Isn't that true? Isn't that true? People who despise Moses' law died?
1,000 of them in one shot.
Yeah. But, and this is where people, okay, let me just say it this way. Didn't Miriam come against Moses?
And Numbers 12.
Yeah, so Miriam comes against Moses. How come she didn't die?
Law, she just came against him. I can dispute something with you. It doesn't mean I despise the law.
That's still despising the law, because Moses was the one given the law. So 100%. So where do we find the medium in that then? How come Miriam was able to come against? She comes against him bad. If you go back and read it, it was not a good thing what happened. How come she didn't die? That's right. Some people will say, so you're saying the Bible's contradicting itself? No, I'm not. But when God says he knows his sheep, does he know his sheep or not? He knows. He knows his sheep. So you see a chastisement come upon her, not death. You understand? So when people use this right here, when they use this, 26 and 27, "For if we sin willfully after we have received the knowledge of the truth," didn't Miriam receive the knowledge of the truth because they're using Moses? You got to understand this.
David, same thing with David, right? David, we can put him under that same category.
Well, I don't want to talk about every person this ever happened to. I don't want to muddy the waters. I'm just saying, it's in 28, it says, "He that despised Moses' law died without mercy." So Miriam, does anybody remember what Miriam did? Nobody remembers. Oh my God. Somebody go look it up. What did Miriam do? Why did she have to get kicked out of the camp?
She mocked Moses about having a Gentile wife.
Yeah. She started talking about that. Well, matter of fact, that's part of. Go look it up. Somebody go look it up.
It's Numbers 12.
Yeah, read it.
Okay.
Because that's not the only thing she did.
Okay, so verse 1, it says, "And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. And they said, Hath the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses?"
All right, right there. Hold on, right there. So does Moses only talk through you, Moses? I mean, does God only talk through you, Moses? Do you see that?
Yes.
So she murmured. She was murmuring. Keep reading.
"Hath he not spoken also by us, and the Lord heard it? Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth.
I
And
mean,
the
what a swell thing to say about yourself. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to put Trot was the meekest man of them all, like Moses did. All right, go ahead.
And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam, Come out, ye three, unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. And the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud, and stood in the door of the tabernacle, and called Aaron and Miriam. And they both came forth, and he said, Hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches, and the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed, and the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, beseech thee, lay not thy sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed, when he cometh out of his mother's womb. And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, Heal her now, O God, I beseech thee. And the Lord said unto Moses, If her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days, and after that let her be received in again. And Miriam was shut out from the camp 7 days, and the people journeyed not till Miriam was brought in again. And afterward the people removed from Hazareth and pitched in the wilderness of Paran.
Okay. Didn't this happen before? Didn't people come against Moses before and say, hey, you're not the only authority here? Didn't that happen again? Is this the only time this has happened? Nobody remembers.
No.
It never happened before?
No, it
or
happened.
after?
It happened.
Yeah, it happened. So what happened this time? That time, I mean, what happened was God said, hey, and Moses told everybody, hey, every man give me his rod. And in the morning, it says Aaron's rod budded almonds, right? Y'all remember that?
Yes.
Right. So it's important where it says, Hebrews 10:28, he that despised Moses' law died without mercy. Right. So when you go look at the word despise in the Hebrew, it's just talking about rejecting. That's all it's talking about. So Miriam 100% rejected Moses by saying, you're not the only one that can talk to God. We can too. But it's important to not forget that God says that he knows his sheep, and Miriam was one of them. But she fell under temptation and said these things to Moses, but she only received mercy because he knows his sheep. So you had Aaron and Moses pray and say, hey, please don't, heal her at once. Don't do this. And he's like, no, let it be. which there's a reasoning behind it. But when people try to use Hebrews 10:26 and 27 to somehow prove that you're sinning, and because you're sinning, you're going to go to hell, and they're not being honest with the text. It says, he that despised Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. It's not lying. It's true. But to sit here and say that no mercy was ever given to nobody, we see that not being true, because Miriam should have been put to death, and she wasn't. Do y'all understand what I'm pointing out? So when people say things like, oh, well, this proves a contradiction. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't contradict anything. If anything, it proves that God knows his sheep, and the chastisement of his people he commits. The Bible makes it very clear. So it's not contradicting anything. Let me ask you this. What's the difference between Miriam and Judas? Yeah, the heart, bro. That's the difference. And he became unalive. Even though he unalived himself, he became unalived. Not Miriam. Does anybody know what the name Miriam means? Don't just guess. Somebody go look it up.
Bitter.
Are you sure?
It also can mean myrrh also.
Well, go look it up. Go look it up. Somebody look it up in Hebrew. In Deuteronomy right there. The same one you were reading, Jennifer. Look that one up.
Rebelliousness.
It does mean rebellious. It means more than that, though. So, matter of fact, I'll make it simple. If somebody else finds it, let me know. Okay, let's see. Khorshid. You there?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Jesus said, believers in me, out of their belly flows what?
I don't know.
Living water.
Okay.
Okay. He said, believers in me, out of their belly flows rivers of living water. If someone is rebellion, if they're rebellious against Jesus, are they going to have living water in their belly?
No.
Anybody? No. So what's the opposite of living water? What's the opposite of that in this world that we live in? In this world that we live in, if you walk around...
Desolate, dry.
It's dry ground, right? Dry ground is the opposite of rivers of living water, right?
Right.
Okay, so to be rebellious against God is to be dry and desolate, not able to procreate. And I'm not talking about physical babies. I'm talking about spiritual babies.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. But in the Old Testament, there were women that were barren. They could not have babies. But it was a miracle that they did. It's kind of like all of us. Now, this may not be easy at first, but it's not a coincidence that Miriam's name means rebellious or dry ground or barren. It's not a coincidence that her name means that, because the mother of Jesus, her name is Mary, which comes from the root word Mara, where you get the word Miriam. So Mary's name means rebellious or dry ground. That's what her name means. So it was a miracle that living water was put in her belly when she was pregnant, right?
Right.
So, I don't know, Mick, were you able to hear any of that? I don't know if he heard any of that. He just sitting, he's hanging out. Oh, now you got a phone call. Like TikTok, we haven't been on since Friday. It's been a dry, desolate land for 3 days.
Not true.
No, I got all that, brother. Thank you.
If you did not join my lives, that is on you. I'm just kidding.
Mick, what'd you say, Mick?
Yeah, I got all that, brother.
Yeah. So, but that's kind of the answer, because people can easily make you believe that, because it says if you sin willfully, and they're always pointing out sin. Everything's about sin, not redemption. And some people say, well, isn't there a balance? There's no balance. Your spirit became redeemed by the Redeemer. Before there was a balance, there was no balance. God didn't come up to you and be like, he's okay, redeem him. And then go up to him, that's not what he did. Those that have faith, redeem, okay? All right, Roger, does he believe? Yes, he does, redeem. And they're like, oh, well, now that you're saved, there has to be balance. What, bro? What are you talking about? The Spirit of God entered you, and now there has to be a balance. There's not going to be no balance. Your flesh has no power to balance anything. It can't make it unbalanced in either direction, your flesh. When you become born again, you don't want to do things that are against God. There may be struggles at times in certain areas, but you don't want to do them. And don't throw out Paul, because that's not what Paul was talking about. Paul was not saying the evil which the good that I would, that I don't, but the evil which I would not do, that I do. Oh, wretched man that I am. Paul's not complaining about sin. That's why he said, who shall deliver me from this body of death? I thank God through Jesus Christ. The answer is, he's talking about how he was before he got saved. Do you understand? That's why he said, who's going to deliver me? My friend, he's already been delivered. While he's writing this, he's already a saved man. He's talking about the old him. He is not talking about the new him that's struggling with sin. Paul wasn't struggling with sin, okay? It doesn't mean he was perfect, but he wasn't going around struggling like, oh, look at that lamb leg over there, boy. Oh, man, I can taste the barbecue now. Run over there and steal it like Aladdin in the freaking movie Aladdin. He's not Prince Ali Ababa, okay? Freaking stealing apples, and he's not tempted in that way. He makes it very clear. And, in so many versions, he said, I've been to a point, I'm so confused, though. What are you confused about, Khorshid?
So, like, once you're saved, right? You're saying, like, you don't get temptations or you don't stray away. That's not what you're saying. You're saying you don't want to do these things.
Yeah, so I think we all know, or better yet, let's just start here. So when you get saved, like what part of you got something from God, right? The Bible says that we're spirit, soul, and body, right?
Yes.
Right. So what part of you got redeemed?
My spirit and soul.
Yeah, your soul got redeemed because now it has a born again spirit. Right?
Okay. Right.
Right? Okay, so now your spirit is no longer dead, it's alive, because the Bible says that the last Adam, Jesus, was a quickening spirit. So your spirit was quickened, became alive, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay, so if you look in the mirror, let's say you looked in the mirror and yesterday you had a pimple on your face, and then you get saved, and then hours later you look in the mirror again, you still got a pimple? Or do you get a glorified body because you got saved?
You still have a pimple.
You still have a pimple. Okay, so our body, our physical body did not become glorified, but our spirit became born again. You became born again. You have a brand new spirit. It's been resurrected. It's been resurrected from the dead. So your spirit is not being tempted to sin. Would you agree?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Your flesh Yeah, your flesh, like you have a just like you have a pimple on your face, your flesh still lives in this imperfect world. So, of course, your flesh every day is tempted with things it's always been tempted about. Correct?
Yes, yes.
Right.
Now,
But
much more
we now,
sensitive.
but we're no longer in the flesh. We're in the spirit, like Paul tells us. So when God looks at you, he don't look at your pimples in your flesh. That's not what he sees. He sees your spirit. You understand?
Wow. Yeah, I do.
So this doesn't mean go sin and act like a fool. We already know not to do those. There's no need to even talk. Why are we talking? I'm not you, but why do people keep trying to bring up sin when you've been redeemed and now God sees you face to face in your spirit, because the same spirit that resurrected Jesus from the dead resides in you, the same spirit.
Wow.
So God sees you as a friend. So if he sees you as a friend, he sees you as a friend in the spirit. That's why Jesus said when they asked him, "Are you a king?" And he said, "Not of this world. My kingdom is not of this world." So if his kingdom is not of this world and your flesh is of this world, but the soul and the spirit that's in you is in this world, but it's not of this world, then what are we talking about? You understand?
That yeah, that we are saved, and that
No, I'm
just
saying why is it so easy for anyone to not see what I just laid out? They don't see it, because if they did, they wouldn't be talking about sin every day. That's all they talk about.
yeah,
Like if something
I just
like if
saw it the way
something
you
like
said
if
it.
like if something amazing didn't just happen on the inside of you, all of a sudden we're still talking about sin. So we're talking about sin before we're saved, talking about sin after we're saved. Like, just that's all these people concentrate on is the flesh. Right? So it's hard
Mm.
to get someone to understand who they are when we keep telling them one day you'll get there. One day you'll get there. Well, if you already got the Spirit of God living on the inside of you, you're already there. Not you're going to get there.
Thank you.
Right? So you're either already saved or you need to stop sinning so you can be saved. It's one or the other. It cannot be both. Cannot be
Right.
both. Right? And this is the gospel. It's the good news. The word gospel, the one that the word that Paul uses, it doesn't even mean just good news. It means too good to be true news. It's the only news that's too good to be true, yet it's true. Right? So when people go back to no, and they bring up verses that talk about, like, for instance, Hebrews 10, right here, perfect example, right? For if we sin willfully after that we receive the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sin. So people use this to put you back in fear that if some sin occurs and you knew the truth, you're going to hell. That's how they use these verses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
All right. So 27 says, but what you're going to get is judgment, fiery indignation, right? But then you go to 28 and it says, he that despised Moses' law died. It's not lying. People who rejected Moses died. It is true. But he knows his sheep. For some reason, people leave that out. Miriam made a mistake. Did she die? No, she didn't. So the question is, why didn't she die? She didn't die. Another strong part is because of her name, Miriam, which means dry ground. You understand? I don't want to go through all that right now, but he knows his sheep. When you're saved, he knows that you're saved. So you can do well for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, and you fail in some area. You're not killed under Moses' law, and you're You rejected Jesus. No, you didn't reject Jesus. You're saved. It says right here. Let's see. So 29, where it says, of how much sore punishment suppose ye shall he be thought worthy who hath trodden under foot the Son of God and hath counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sanctified and holy thing, and hath done despite unto the Spirit of grace, question mark, for we know him that hath said, vengeance belongeth to me, I will recompense, saith the Lord. And again, the Lord shall judge his people. It is a fearful thing to fall in the hands of the living God, but call to remembrance the former days. But up here, it talks about in 29, how people are trodden Christ under their feet. This is not talking about you made a mistake. It's not talking about that. This is talking about rejecting God. That's what it's talking about. That's the sin that cannot be forgiven. Rejecting God as your God is like rejecting Moses. Like Moses, your law's stupid. I want nothing to do with it. Again, this goes back to the unforgettable sin, which is not being born again. So if Christ has already died for your sin and you have to be reborn, and you reject God, how can you be reborn? You're literally stomping what he did under your feet. This is not talking about because you stole a piece of bubble gum from Walmart. It's talking about rejecting him. Huh?
My bad. Which now we're talking about, or we're getting into the plank or the speck in someone's eye versus the plank in your own.
Yeah.
Or mind your own business, which it literally says.
It literally does say that. Yeah, there's other scriptures that point at that if your brethren has sawdust in his eye and you got a freaking telephone pole in yours, you don't go to your brother and be like, brother, you got sawdust in your eye. He's saying, why don't you remove the telephone pole from your eye so you can even see where the sawdust is so you can help him remove it. So all these verses, they help each other understand the Bible. But if you don't talk about no verse, but sin bad, you're bad, you sin, you bad, and that's it. So the person's not born again. So they faltered in some area. So now they're not born again anymore. Yeah, well, you sinned after you're born again. And they're like, oh, so you're saying it's okay. First of all, sin is bad. Sin is bad. I don't know why people even ask each other that. So you think sin is good? It's okay to do? And I just throw back at these people, so your performance is how you're getting into heaven? By your performance? No, the answer is no. You're not getting into heaven because of how good you are. We get into heaven because of how good Jesus was, not because of how good we were. No, absolutely not.
And there
Absolutely
when it says faith without works is dead, goes back to the dry, maybe.
Yeah, so faith without works is dead. That's in the book of James, okay?
Right.
And James is not talking about the law. James is not saying you can have faith.
Yeah, dry, like no living water.
Yeah, well, no, you can say that because James is talking about, for instance, how I'll show you the type of works that James is referring to. So if you're in a house that's on fire and you're sitting in a chair, let's say you're 3 feet away from the front door and the fire's behind you, it's coming. I mean, wouldn't you say the person would stand up and walk out of the house, out of the front door to get out of the burning house?
Yes.
Okay. But would it make any sense for that same person standing sitting 3 feet away from the front door of this house that's on fire and beg God to come save him?
No, that wouldn't make any sense.
Okay, so that is faith without works. That's praying for God to come save you, but not using your legs to walk out.
Amen. I get it. Yeah.
You get it? So the type of works that James is referring to, he's not saying be good. Faith without being good is dead. That's not what that means. I don't know why people misunderstand that. Faith without works is saying you can have faith all you want that you're going to get a college degree, but you never go to college. Your dream is dead. You have to have faith plus works in order for that to be accomplished. If I want a degree, I don't just believe God for a degree. I believe him that I'm going to get a degree, and I go sign up for college, and I have to take the courses, and I have to do the work in order to get the degree. But to have faith and say, oh, y'all just wait, I'm going to get a college degree, and you never go sign up for a course, faith without works is dead. You have to put work towards that thing. You don't just pray for it. That makes no sense. It's dumb.
Right.
So faith without works is dead is not about your salvation. It's not about that. It's about having faith in something and you moving towards that, whatever that is. So Jesus,
Thank you.
oh, absolutely. Jesus is the only reason that anyone can receive salvation. So you can have faith you're going to be saved, but if you don't receive Christ, you're not. You can't say, no, I got faith. I'm right with God. Have you received Christ? No, I don't need that. I have faith that I'm going to be all right. Faith without works is dead, my friend. Jesus is the only one that put forth the work for mankind to be redeemed. You cannot rely on your own works. You can't say, well, I don't sin anymore. I'm saved. That's not true. That's not true. All the sin you committed was put on God's soul. That's what he said in the Old Testament, that his own soul was going to be sacrificed for us. Where was that soul at? Khorshid? How was God's soul sacrificed? How was it offered for us?
How was it offered?
Mm-hmm. God said he was going to offer his own soul for us. How did that happen?
He was crucified.
Yeah,
He was
God's
crucified
soul.
for our sins.
Yeah, God's soul was in Jesus's body.
Right.
Right. And
Yeah.
Jesus was put on the cross. So.
Is it the soul? Huh?
Yeah, Jesus is God's soul. That's the thing that was crucified for our sake. So when you start seeing deeper in the word, you'll see less of you. There's less of you, more God. We're not redeemed because we did so much. We're redeemed because he did it all. Not because we did so much. But there will always come somebody and start putting fear in you, talking about sin again, causing you to worry that something you're doing is going to. Now, we all know that if you get caught up in some crazy sin and you don't stop, you're going to have some hard times. So we're not talking about that. We're talking about salvation. We're talking about salvation. Nobody is saved and redeemed back to God because of their own merit. That's a lie. It is not true. It will never happen. It has never happened. If it wasn't for Jesus, there would be nobody redeemed. That's the facts, and that's what we have to remember.
So, Trot.
Yeah.
I put John 1:18 in the comments. And if you don't mind, can I read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it says, so no man hath seen God at any time, the only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him. So what's another good verse to attach that to signify that Jesus is the soul of God?
Oh my God. Who are you talking
Isaiah,
to?
Isaiah, bro.
Yeah, Isaiah's a kicker, 53 maybe, right, CJ?
Yeah, 53. Yep.
I'm
53.
talking to some heathens, that's why.
Oh man.
Oh geez.
Oh.
Because when
man.
Well, they say they're Christians, but when I say, and I try to make that, they just like, oh no, that's just not biblical. And I'm like,
hold on. What are they saying is not biblical?
That Jesus isn't the soul of God.
Bro, okay, all right, look. I know. All right. So look, let me do this again. There are many levels to understanding things in the Bible, okay? Khorshid, what'd you say? Are you guys here every day? Yeah, we are. We're here every day, Monday through Friday. Okay, now the times vary. It used to be 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. Central Time. I'm hoping to start that again either tomorrow. Once I start doing it again, it'll be like that for the next few weeks. But so Descaled, we come on anywhere between. Right now, it's more like it's more like between 10 and noon Central Time. But if you want to make sure you're here, just put your notifications on. That way you're notified when we go live. And I will say sometimes TikTok is not the best at notifying you. So sometimes you just kind of got to start swiping. But we're on for about 2 to 3 hours. So Khurshid, the one that you attended right now, this is the norm. Like this is the regular Descaled program. But we also do another one called a Grit Mastery Family, and that's only focused on family issues and things of family. Like we don't really, it's not about, the whole thing is not about just biblical truths about salvation, even though we talk about those things, but it's more like one of our sisters, Kelly, she was having some issues with with a couple of family members, and we kind of just discussed it. Before that, we had a series called Mini Mentors, and that's where parents allow their kids to like tell them what to do rather than the parent stepping up and being the parent. And then we just started another thing called a Timeless Yeshua, where we're going to be going into rabbinical writings about Jesus and kind of just have a discussion on how Jesus was always around, not just shadows in the Old Testament, but how you can see him in just writings that are outside of the Bible. But it was Jewish people that were writing. So we won't be focusing on any other religion. It would just be focused on the people of the Jews at the time, things that they wrote down, things that they passed down, and how they reflected on Christ. So, and we do talk about marriage. Misunderstood threw that out there. So we do talk about marriage, but that is in the Grit Mastery Family thing. And you'll know it's a Grit Mastery Family because we're going to be talking about kids or marriage or whatever. So relationships.
I won't be going to those, but these I like.
You will be going to the family one? You don't have a family or what?
I have a family, yes, but like the relationship, like husband, that I don't. But if it's just family in general, then
no, it's family. It's family in general. So like, it's every aspect. It's brothers, sisters, in-laws, relationships, and that's relationships. Yeah, relationship is go as far as kids, spouse, work related. So anything that has to do with your life, okay? Anything that has to do with your life, we talk about all those things. It's just called a Grit Mastery Family. But it's talking about, because family is not just blood. Family is a group of people that help each other out through this life. That's what a family. That's why when Jesus was approached and said, "Hey, your mother and brother are here," and he said, "Who are my mother and brother?" "Those who serve the Lord." He's saying, "Those who serve the Lord, that's my family." So that's what Grit Mastery Family is actually referring to. But
I will definitely be there. I was thinking it's like marriage counseling or something like that.
No, I mean, we do that too. I do that too, but it's not limited to any of that. Yeah. So
in that case, I definitely want to be there.
So
just because those things are so important.
Yeah, they are. Have you subscribed to the YouTube channel yet?
No, I'm going to do that.
Yeah. So it's at Descaled Live. That's the title of the.
It's in your bio.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Thank you. It's in my bio. Yeah. So it's in the bio. If you go on there, it will be in playlist. Like if you want to just listen to like what we've discussed in a Grit Mastery Family, it's in the playlist. So you can just click on the playlist and you can just pick you something and just like, if you're, I don't know, whatever you're doing. I don't know if you're going to go jogging, cooking, take a shower, whatever. while you're doing those things, you can just listen to one of them. You'll be able to see what we're talking about. And oh shoot, what did I do? But yeah, Core Shit, are you about to hop off? Matter of fact, guys, we're actually about to go, and I'm going to finish this with Mick, and we're going to bounce off. But Core Shit, obviously you're welcome. You come when you can, when you have time. It's all good. Yeah. So Isaiah 53, and what I was going to say to Mick was, so there's different levels of understanding when it comes to the Bible. Most of the people that are here know that. But like, it is hard to go straight to the jugular with people that have no idea what you're talking about. For some reason, there are people that claim they've read the Bible for 10 or 15 years, but the truth is they don't read the Bible. They just skim through it, and they only go to discussions that they feel like they're comfortable talking about. But you just know that there's 90% of people on TikTok have never 100% read the entire Bible. And if they did read the entire Bible, it's been 10 years or 5 years. Like, that's how far it's been, how long it's been that they've even read the entire Bible, that they don't even know that the Bible says that God has a soul. And then it describes this, what it is. It describes this. So it's not something that you take to someone that doesn't have a lot of understanding, because they think because they've never heard it that it's something's wrong with it. Well, the Bible makes it very clear that God has a soul. Very, very clear. Okay. And this whole thing that's flying around right now, that there's many souls, and you got either a Gentile soul or a Jewish soul, and then all this kind of shenanigans. It's not like that. Okay. And I'll have a discussion on it one day, but it's just, it's not. And when people say, yeah, and I remember studying all the souls, and there is one, I could have swore there's one that started with an L, and I looked for it. I couldn't find it either. I'm like, man, I must be talking about something else. But there are a few words in there that is for soul. And there are people that believe that, you got an animal soul or a dog soul or something other than a Jewish soul. And it's based on the covenant with Abraham and all these things. But what? Yeah.
Can I ask a question about that? So in Judaism, they do they have a Jewish soul? Is there not? Is it?
Yeah. No, but that's kind of what I'm talking about. This pops up every now and again,
Yes.
where people want to discuss that there's different souls and all these things. And what I tell people is, the easiest way to explain it is in the Old Testament, right? A male had to be circumcised in order to be under the covenant of Abraham, right?
Right.
Right. And that's a physical thing. It's an outer appearance. And Paul tells us that circumcision is now of the heart, right? It's now of the heart. It's no longer an outer appearance. So when you're talking to people about souls, there are people that believe that the body is the soul. That's what they believe, that the body is the soul and the soul is the body. And they're like, well, depending on how it's used in context, it could be spirit, and it could be, they are running away. Listen, these people are running away from the spirit, soul, and body truth that Paul talks about. Paul said, I pray that and this is in 1 Thessalonians 5:23, he says, I pray that your whole spirit and soul and body. That's what he says. And it's when you look at that and you're understanding a lot of things that Paul talks about, you'll start to understand why he's saying that we have a spirit, soul, and a body. There's a reason that he says it, and it's because of all the things that he's learning. So when people try to bring up, well, you got Jewish souls and Islamic believer souls and Christian souls and dog souls and all these souls, and I can understand why they say that, but really it's down to being circumcised. That's what it's down to. And so when they go, no, because the word here for soul is being used, I get it. I've looked at it. It's been years. But I remember going over this, and I understand what they're trying to say. I get that, because it could, in some weird way, be true in the Old Testament, but is no longer true today. There is no different souls today. That is a lie, 100%. No Jewish person like, well, God knows who the real Jews are and they got a Jewish soul. No, absolutely not. You either had a Jewish penis or you didn't. Period. Okay. So this whole spirit, soul, and no. You either were cut like a Jew or you're not cut. All right. One or the other. So today, Paul makes it very clear that circumcision is of the heart. And that is talking about just like the foreskin was removed from the main organ, okay? Our flesh has been cut away from the main organ of what we are, which is we have been sealed through the Holy Spirit of promise. And that seal literally has cut the flesh away. It has no part in the spirit. That's why the Bible says that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of heaven. Our flesh and our blood has nothing to do with our inheritance. We are co-heirs with Christ through what he did, and what he did was enough, and our soul has been redeemed. So people either have a dead spirit or they have a spirit that's alive. Okay, but as far as the soul is concerned, the souls are the same. In the Old Testament, like I said, I have studied it. It does seem like they had different souls in the Old Testament. And I don't have a problem with people saying that that's very possible, because you can kind of see it. It's kind of like people who are not born again were more animalistic in some weird way. And you can kind of see that. That's why they were called dogs. Right. So it's very possible. And I do believe that us as humans before Jesus, there is something different about us in the Old Testament. And I don't know how to break that down other than using scripture, which is pointing to people of God and people that are not. And so you see a bunch of people being unalived all the time. God saying, go and unalive all of them. And you got these atheists fighting for the rights. You got these liberals and these, they're fighting for the rights that God, who are you to kill these people? And I'm like, I don't think you're understanding. Hey, Khorshid, why do you keep putting a period in the comments?
Because my phone, like whenever I want to type something, it won't let me, and then I decide not to, it won't let me get off of that unless I type something in. Otherwise,
it's a dumb glitch with TikTok, bro.
You have it too?
Yes, it happens to me sometimes.
Oh, gosh, thank God. I'm like, what's wrong with my phone? I gotta get a new phone.
Yeah, Christian, but I don't.
Period.
Yeah, but Christian, I don't ever see you put periods though.
Yeah, because what I do is I have to leave the app instead of doing that anymore.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
To put a heart for now
period.
on.
Period. You can put period.
Yeah. Put no, you can't. Put a heart. No, put a heart for God's sake.
I'll put a heart so people don't think I'm like period.
I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah. What he said, period.
Period.
I don't know. It was like, yeah.
No.
Yeah. So, let's see. So the last thing that Mick brought up. Let's see, 1 John 18, right? That no man has seen God any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him. So I usually don't do this, but he's looking for ammunition. He wants to go on the arguing trail. Okay. So you got, and matter of fact, Mick, have you not seen where I talk about this in, matter of fact, it might be on, if I find the video, I'm going to send it to you where I'm talking about spirit, soul, and
I'll look for it.
Yeah, well, if I find it, I'm going to send it to you, because in the Old Testament, I'll bring this last point up, but it's all over the place. It's all over in the Bible. So,
like in Isaiah 42, it says, "Behold my servant, whom I uphold, my chosen one, of whom my soul delights. I have put my spirit upon thee. He will bring forth justice to nations. He will not call out for a shout aloud, nor make his voice So that's speaking of the soul there, speaking of the Christ.
Yeah, but I'm okay. Yeah, but you know me, I go beyond black letters and a white page, bro.
I know.
Right. So if you go to the if you go to the Old Testament, it starts talking about, for instance, and the law tells us an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, right? Right. So God made these laws. He's saying in order to make it right, a tooth has to be given for that tooth. In order to make it right, and you plucked out so-and-so's eye, yep, your eye has to be given to make it right. But he did this because it was going to be a soul for a soul. That's how our soul was redeemed, because he gave his. Right? But there's not a verse that says it like that. You just have to understand what you're reading.
Right.
But there's not a verse when you're just looking for like these very specific verses. We all can make the mistake. We put ourselves too much in this world that we're trying to only explain it in that way. But when you give it to someone in the spirit, that's when the drawing of God happens, because they hear it a different way now. It's not just black letters on a white page anymore. It says it in another way that it's not evidently clear. So that's one. And I'll give you one more. Matter of fact, when you go see the video, you'll catch on to what I'm saying. But again, in the Old Testament, it talks over and over. Someone who does this, their soul shall be given. Someone that does this, their soul, this will happen to their soul. And it talks about it over and over. That's because Christ was going to take all sin. His soul was going to be damned. So in the Old Testament, it's like, if a man does this, his soul will be damned. If a man does this, his soul will be damned. Again, but our soul wasn't damned because Christ's soul was put on there for us. So his soul was damned. He was damned to death and then resurrected. Right? What'd you say, Khurshid? That was the Old Testament? Yes, that was the Old Testament. Those were shadows of Jesus, though. Right? Yeah. It was Old Testament, but there were shadows of Christ. So in the New Testament, people say things like, oh, look, it's Jesus speaking because it's red letters. Well, there's a lot of red letters in the Old Testament. Right?
Amen.
Yeah.
The ruddiness, the red heifer. It says that Jesus was ruddy. Adam was ruddy. David was ruddy. There's these. Esau was red all over. He was the firstborn. Jesus is the firstborn. So it's throughout the entire Bible, but the red letters are not just in the New Testament. They're all over in the Old Testament. And our job is to dig them up like a treasure and give them away freely. Like the Bible tells us, give freely as it was given to you. Give them freely. Right? So
is this because we know that Jesus was the first and the last, that he was basically the Old Testament and the New Covenant. Like we have a new covenant with Christ. So we don't need the Old Covenant anymore.
Yeah, the Old Covenant was for the flesh. The Old Covenant could have never done what the New Covenant did, because the New Covenant is focused on the Spirit. So the old covenant had to be given, but it could not be given to the Spirit because the Spirit was not resurrected. So all we had, I hate to say it, was animalistic behavior. So we were held accountable to our animalistic behavior, and that's why the foreskin had to be cut off, because it was a physical symbol. There was no spiritual symbol in the Old Testament. There may be spiritual typologies, but there was no real spiritual symbol until after Christ's death, burial, and resurrection. Now, because he's a quickening spirit, our spirit, because he is the Torah. Jesus is the Torah. He's it. He is the law. So when it says that he came to fulfill the law, this doesn't mean that he came to behave good, so the law could be, so someone can uphold the law by being good. That's not what it's talking about when it says that he fulfilled it. Fulfilled it means he added the last thing to it. Everything of the law is is telling a truth, but it's not the truth, because Jesus is the truth. That's why Paul said Moses gave the law, but grace and truth came through Christ. Notice how truth is only on one side. It doesn't say Moses gave the law and truth. It says Moses gave the law, but grace and truth came through Christ. So the law, even though it tells the truth, it's not the truth. It tells something that is true, but it's not the truth because it wasn't fulfilled. It was not completed. When Christ came, he brought the other side of the law that was not here. Some people will say it was. No, it wasn't, because Christ wasn't here. How could it be fulfilled? It cannot be fulfilled until the Messiah came. And Christ fulfilled the law because he's the rest of it. So we got the physical part, right? Be good, don't be bad. We got that part. But the thing that was missing was Christ himself. That's why he said, Moses said that if you commit adultery, you sin. Notice what he points out. Moses said, if you physically sin, you sin. Yes, according to the law, if you physically sin, you sin. But Jesus said, but I say, even if you think it. So he brings what the law always was, which is your imagination. It was always the imagination. That's why the people in the story of Noah, the Bible's very clear. It tells us that those people that God destroyed or sent the flood because the imagination was evil continuously. The imagination was. So it goes all the way back to the imagination. So Jesus, being God, says to the people, he says it a few times, it was not like that in the beginning. In the beginning, he says, it was not like that. It was based on the imagination. So then Paul tells us how sin is developed. If you pay real close attention to what Paul is saying, he says first you have to think about it. And then the seed is planted and it's watered. And eventually the harvest of that sin comes to be. But Paul recognizes that the imagination, and I'm not talking about the imagination of your kid, that they're in the house playing fake pew, 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 pew. Not that imagination that we have in this carnal world. Okay, even though it's real close. But if you're lusting over a woman inside your imagination and you're thinking about it, Jesus says that is when you sinned, not when you physically did it. So by Jesus coming, he fulfilled the law by bringing the rest of it, which is the imagination part, pointing to everybody that if the tree is good, if the fruit is good, the tree's good. Why? Because the root, the imagination is the root, which is our spirit. Our spirit is the root of the tree. So if you're
with the law, you were able to hide the truth in some ways because they can act good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the scribe and the Pharisees, no one saw them do anything bad, but Jesus is making it clear, I see everything. That's why he told the scribe and the Pharisees, your father is Satan. He's telling them your imagination is messed up. You look good in front of everybody, but your imagination is messed up. So they think, well, if I'm not acting out on it, then I'm not doing anything wrong. Well, Jesus came to fulfill the law. He brought the truth that people were not believing. They were not believing that just thinking it was a sin. And some people will say, well, the Bible actually does say, yeah. But for the most part, people were not picking up on it. And to be honest with you, if you don't have a born again spirit, then you're not going to understand that truth. You're not, period. You're not going to understand that truth unless your spirit has been born again. That's why Jesus said you have to be born again. No rabbi or Jewish person were born again before Jesus' death, burial, and resurrection. So even though there are hints of this truth in the Old Testament, they didn't understand it. That's why Jesus had to come. Because they didn't see it, they didn't understand it. That's because Jesus put it there. So when he came, he can point it out, and he can, I hate to say it, but he can taunt the Jews and say, how did you not know this? It's right here. It's because he's God. And Jews were mere men, and Jesus was not. Jesus was God. And then you have the argument, okay, he was God. Was he both all man, all God? It's just a ridiculous arguments these people come up with. They just got to figure out what else can I argue about. It's crazy. All right, guys, it is 4:00. We are done. Anybody got a question?
Question.
Yeah.
Could we say that because he was condemned for us, could we say that he was condemned from birth? Like, there is a song that David wrote that it says, from the mother's womb, he was formed in iniquity. I think that's the way it says. Is that foreshadowing how the Lord was created not in sin, but in the
So,
likeness of it?
Jennifer, that we're the ones with the iniquity from the beginning.
Well, hold on, Jesse. Hold on.
Wasn't David speaking about himself in that Psalms?
I see it as a foreshadowing of Christ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to say maybe I fell out that
I,
part.
I would personally say I think David is speaking of himself
Oh, okay.
because Christ was perfect. The scripture tells us he was perfect in every way. So it had to be David speaking of himself.
Well,
Because
sister, he was formed in the likeness of sin.
Jesus was not formed in the likeness of sin.
No, he was formed in
Right.
the likeness of sinful flesh, and the likeness meaning no
Yeah.
sin.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so he was. The scripture says he was born in the likeness of sinful flesh. So we are that sinful flesh, and he was born. So, guys, just to make it simple, look. In order for God to redeem us, he had to become us. Okay, that's what he had to do. Okay, the only difference is he didn't commit a sin, so he wasn't sinful, right? He's not going to just make himself sinful without sin. But he came the way that we are. That's how he came. Okay, but without sin. So, and every time I say this, people look at me like a cow looking at a new gate. Okay, or like I got two heads. Look, it's very simple, but it's not easy to understand. But it is simple. When God made Adam, right, man, he created man in his image and in he created man in his image and in his likeness. When he came in man's image and man's likeness, okay? But without sin. You understand?
Means that he had two arms, two legs, two ears, two eyes, a nose, and the body was just like ours. That's the likeness. It was a physical
Okay.
body was the
Oh,
All right.
likeness, not the
All right. Well,
nature of
I
Jesus.
don't want to argue about the image and likeness. It's ridiculous, okay? But the point is he came in the likeness of sinful flesh, and it's talking about how we are right now. Okay. And the reason that he came in the likeness of sinful flesh is because nobody on earth was in the image and likeness of God. And that's when I say that, people are like, wait a minute, God created everything. No, he didn't. Okay. He created Adam. That fall after Adam, that is not what he created. That's why he told the scribes and the Pharisees, your father is Satan. Is that how let me just say that. Is that how he made us? He made us so Satan could be our father? That's what God made?
No.
of
No, right. So I know it sounds good. It sounds so loving and so good to tell everybody that God made you the way you are. Let me tell you something. There are some people in this world that have some serious, crazy mental issues. And you go lying to them saying God made you the way you are, you're a liar. That is not how God made us. So when Jesus said to the scribes and the Pharisees, you are of your father, Satan, he wasn't playing. He wasn't playing around. He was telling them, your dad is Satan, not God. The image of God was not in this world until Jesus came. The Bible tells us that he, Jesus, was the image of the invisible God. Him. The image of God was not here in this world. Okay? It wasn't. He was it.
Okay, so maybe I asked my question very
No,
poorly.
I'm not even referring to your question. We just kind of got there. Your question was was Jesus condemned from birth? That's what you asked because I wrote it down.
Yes.
Yeah. So tomorrow I'm gonna go over this question.
Okay.
All right. That's what we'll pick up. We'll pick up on Jesus being condemned from birth, and we'll just kind of go over it, what that looks like. All right. So make sure. Let's see. What'd you say? Son of man is different than son of God. Yes, they are different. Son of man. Matter of fact, son of man is more pointing to a spiritual thing than son of God is, right? Because there's a lot of sons of God that you'll see in the Bible, but there's not a lot of son of man. So when Jesus called himself son of man, there was a lot of people that flipped out on him because that's saying something a bit different. So they're not the same thing. Son of man is actually pointing to the deity of Jesus, and son of God is pointing to our humanhood, like what we are, what God made. Even though he didn't make us out of fallen state, he's the one that made humans, mankind. All right. Other than that, anybody got anything else?
Hey, just thank you for bringing up Hebrews 10:26 through 28. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Anybody? Anything else? Going once, going twice. No? All right. Say it now or forever hold your peace. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
And I'm hoping we're able to go live around 9 o'clock a.m. Central Time. Okay, if you don't know what Central Time is, go look it up. What is Central Time in America? That is what time we're going to start. 9 a.m. Central Time at approximate. Christian, approximately. Christian loses his stuff, boy.
Approximately 10 a.m. Eastern Time.
Central. All right. Let's see. What did you say? So
it's 10. It's 9. Us is 10 on the East Coast.
Yeah. My bad. So what about the Son of Man? Take the scroll and pen. What about the Son of Man? Take the scroll and pen. What about it? Take the scroll and pen. Yeah, I don't know why you guys bring that up when I talk about Son of Man. You're like, no, it's not deity. Who is it referring to? It's actually really clear who it's referring to. How do you guys get caught up in these arguments? It's evidently clear who it's referring to. You don't know who that's referring to, Word?
Always
Word, you don't know who that's referring to, Word? All right, anyway, guys, we'll see y'all. All right, anyway, guys, we'll see y'all tomorrow. God bless.